The Pope and Young Club wants to welcome you as we rally together to ensure our bow hunting opportunities for today and tomorrow. You've come to the podcast that believes in preserving, protecting, and promoting the passion for bow hunting. Join us as we strive to be the voice of today's bow hunter. This is the Pope and Young Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pope and Young Podcast. Jason Roundsville here, joined as always by my co-host Dylan Ray. And we have with us today from Liberty Ranch, which we're excited. We got some great things going on with these guys. We have Corson from Liberty Ranch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So this was one of those things. I hope you're as excited as we are about this raffle we got going on with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. We're ecstatic.
It is. I mean, you look at this, and of all of our listeners, if you don't want to go hunt whitetails in Texas, well, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Oklahoma.
I'm sorry. I think I said Texas earlier. I don't know why I got Texas on the brain today. Yeah, if you don't want to hunt, hey, if you don't want to hunt whitetails in Texas, great, because you're going to Oklahoma.
There you go. That's
Texas sucks, dude. Come to Oklahoma.
So anyway, if you don't want to hunt whitetails in Oklahoma, I don't understand you, because who doesn't want to do that? And then
Absolutely.
if you don't want to hunt anything, if you don't want to, I mean, it could be groundhogs if you're in camp with the man. So we're excited about that. I know we've been talking to Chuck. He's excited about it. What an opportunity. I was talking to Dylan earlier, and I'm trying to think of anyone in the industry, that's currently living. Who else would be in there with Chuck? I mean, who else would be of that caliber as far as influence? I mean, millions of hunters. I don't know who else it would be in there.
I mean, he's in a world of his own, if you ask me.
You know what's crazy is Chuck influenced the influencers. Like,
he did, literally.
You hear Michael Waddell talk about how, it's because Chuck Adams. You hear, you hear all of these hunters talk about, it's because Chuck Adams. Because Chuck Adams. Like, man. And now you get to spend a week in camp with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't wait.
And it's, you look at it, and it's, the thing about it is, it's not just the bow hunters with him. He, because he used to write for, and I don't know which magazines, but, I mean, back in the day, there wasn't internet. So you waited every month for those magazines to hit your box. And it's like, man, Outdoor Life came. Now you can Google stuff on your phone. There wasn't this is it. This is all you had for the next month, was that issue of Outdoor Life until the next one came. It replaced Google, Facebook, FaceTime, My Face, all of that stuff.
Your face, our face, TwitSpace, all of them.
Everything. There was nothing else. And so everybody read him. And you start looking, and I've said it before. I mean, I can remember, there's a chance I still have that magazine. I've kept a bunch of them. Anyway, I remember an issue. I mean, this goes back years and years, but he wrote an article on hunting big mule deer. I don't even know where it was, Colorado or whatever. And he had like 5 mounted bucks that he had taken with a bow and arrow. And the smallest of those 5 was bigger than any mule deer I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. And I grew up in a mule deer state. I mean, Oregon, east half of our state is all muleys. So just crazy how that works. So
Jason,
anyway, we're excited.
You didn't build this up enough, because Chuck is cool, like, fantastic. But I think we're missing, like, dude, Liberty Ranch is top-notch, world-class deer hunting. Like, it's phenomenal, man, to be there, be in camp. Like, the cabins there, I'm sure Corey could tell you because the story behind them being built is really cool in and of itself. But, dude, the place there. Well, here, let me see if I can I got it here. First off, those deer are too big for us to kill, Jason. But, I mean, the cabins here, man, are insanely beautiful. You can see there. But I sat here at lunch one day. Me and Corey sat there at lunch one day, and we watched deer walk across that hillside while he's eating lunch. I mean, just phenomenal place to hunt. And then you add in stinking Chuck Adams. See, like these deer, Jason, these are way too big for me and you. We're looking for much smaller than that. But
I mean, if I had to shoot one, I could do it.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
if it's the first one to come out.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I mean, this place is world class.
I like that one on the right there. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, that one over there. That's that. Yeah. Hey, Corey, just put my name on that one.
Okay. He's easy. He's got a double throat patch. He's easy to keep.
Okay. Good.
I recognize this deer.
Oh yeah, you should recognize him. That's from your spot over there on the rock wall.
Yeah. No, Jason, he was showing me pictures the other day, and there was probably 8 or 9. No, I'm going to say 12. There's probably 12 bucks in the picture, and all of them look like this. And I'm like, dude, there's stinking 1,700 inches of bone in that picture right there alone, dude.
Yeah,
like
clearly they need to thin those out.
See, like this one here. I mean, I'd shoot it if you paid me, but I'm not going to unless you paid me.
See, that's cool. It's got some junk back there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I grew up in blacktail territory, man. That is like junk for me is rare. You just never see it.
Look at this.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Incredible.
We try to build it from the ground up, make the best we can. I'm sorry, I can't even talk.
Oh, look at that!
He's showing me all these pictures dropper? From the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the kind of deer you're going to be hunting. Man. These are the kind of deer you're going to be hunting with Chuck Adams
while you're in camp with Chuck Adams. With Chuck Adams. I mean, you know what?
Him in the mix. That just completely put it on a different level.
Is that the deer you shot?
It is. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Looks like it. Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, he put that one on the ground last year.
Very nice. No, that's
Sunday after Thanksgiving. Beautiful.
You look at it. There's good quality bucks, solid hunting opportunities, and the accommodations don't look half bad. To be honest with you, that looks pretty nice.
It's a nice getaway. Nice change of pace.
Yeah, and Chuck Adams.
Yeah, absolutely.
How
can you go wrong?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of. So here's the thing. Other than Chuck, Corey, who would you want in camp? Other than Chuck, who would you want in camp?
Well, I think Dylan and yourself are fine company to be put in there. All right. Yeah. Get that out there real quick.
Corey, check is in the mail for that. We appreciate it. Check is in the mail.
I really thought he was going to go with Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a given.
Yeah.
I think folks would say that, but when we're doing a show with Lee and he's got like 30 like heads of stuff he's killed in the background in his house there, I don't think that's a guy you just want to be crossing too much.
Yeah.
No.
But I understand.
So who would it be? So you pick one person.
Man.
They have to be kicking.
I'll tell mine why he thinks of it.
Okay.
Fred Eichler. Fred Eichler.
Okay.
He's so fun. He's full of life, man. He's a live wire. I mean, he's just there's never a dull moment.
You know who I think I'd say, just for the pure entertainment factor,
Michael Waddell.
Michael Waddell would be fun, but I think hanging out with Michael Waddell would be like with the buddies, because he's just down home, like he's just good
Redneck.
people. Like he's literally Like, yeah, I'm a redneck. He's a redneck. We just get, we get along. It's kind of like every time I see a movie with Vince Vaughn, I think, dude, that's a guy I could just go hang with. We go grab a beer. But no, you know who I think would have some just ridiculously cool stories and would be entertaining as all heck? Ted Nugent. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he would just, I've talked to him on the phone a couple times, and he's got he's always got that excitement and that energy.
Yeah.
And he believes it. He's not like, when you see him on camera, Ted's not,
he's not faking any aspect. It's
you can't
real.
fake that. Yeah,
No.
it's real. And so when you see that, when you have somebody with that kind of enthusiasm, that energy is, it is absolutely contagious. And so I think having somebody like that, that would have his stories, I think that's who I think I would say.
Just having him in camp, like you said, just for the entertainment and the stories that he's going to present.
And the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the guitar, yeah.
You couldn't be sitting around a bonfire with him playing the guitar and singing some songs.
No, absolutely not.
I don't know that I'd want to sing with Ted, because that would be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
I don't even like to sing at church because I'm just not that musically inclined.
You're talking intimidating. Hunting with anybody we've talked about would be intimidating.
See, no, I'm not. I can hunt with those guys, but I'm not intimidated to hunt with them. But singing, yeah, that's
singing.
Yeah, I can hold my own in a hunting blind, but singing, no.
No, you can count me out.
Yeah, there are songs about that. I forget who sings that song, that's got, Sweet Miss Betty likes to sing off key in the pew behind me. I'm like, I'm so bad. Yeah. So Craig Morgan. So Craig, if you're listening, I appreciate the shout out to that. I don't like being called Miss Betty, but I'm so bad. I don't even know what a key is, like, unless it opens the door. So
my dad always said, boy, I can't even play the radio.
Yeah.
Let alone be singing.
So Corey, who do you got? Who are you bringing into camp? You can pick one person that's alive to bring into camp. Who you doing?
You guys have crossed two of them off the list. You know who I really like? Would be Greg Ritz.
Yeah.
Real quiet. You don't necessarily see a whole lot of him, but he does a lot of bow hunting.
Yeah. I would also, one guy that a lot of people doesn't even know is a big hunter is oh crap, Star-Lord. What's his name? One of the Chris's. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's a big bow hunter.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Really? All right.
Yeah. And I think he would be a funny guy. I think he would be a fun guy to hang out with. But he's a big bow hunter, man. I saw videos of him, like he was going through an airport and they were like trying to confiscate like his food. And he's like, no, that's elk jerky. You can't take that from me. I just killed that. That's the best tasting jerky you'll ever have. And he's like giving out the airport authority, like, try this jerky and then tell me I can't keep it. Like that type of thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else would be like, who else would be on that list that would be just, yeah, I could see Chris Pratt. That would be a good one.
Luke Combs.
Is he a bow hunter? Is he a hunter? See, it doesn't even have a hunter.
I don't know if he bow hunts, but I know he's a hunter.
Yeah.
One for me would be Jim told me, because I grew up watching the Indians, so he would be a close to heart one to have in camp as far as a big bow hunter and stuff as well.
I'll tell you what, who I think would be interesting, and this is going out just a little bit, but bow hunter, actually vocal bow hunter is Joe Rogan. Because that guy, when you hear him talk, he's no BS, man. And here's how it is, and that's how it is. And that cat has some stories, like all the UFC stuff, all the like back in the day,
Fear factor.
Fear factor. Exactly. Obviously, fear is not a factor for you. I just think he has got some cool stories about stuff that he's seen that you would just want to hear.
Yeah, be blown away by.
Yeah. So anyway, that's those would be mine. None of them are bad. I mean, hell, I'd like to be in camp with any of the folks that got mentioned. But
hey, Just having good people in camp's really all that matters.
Yeah. And it's
Whether they're big
Still at the top of
influencer or
that
not.
list. At the top of that list is Chuck Adams. And,
oh yeah.
and you have a chance right now to literally take that. So links in the description of this episode. Go get your tickets. They're literally, listen, it's a $20 ticket.
$20.
$20. Listen, you're going to spend
$20.
$20. You're going to spend $20 on snacks in a gas station this week. Like, you might as well drop $20. Listen, you're going to support bow hunting conservation. You're going to support your rights as a bow hunter and support your right to continue to bow hunt and for future generations to continue to bow hunt. And you're going to get a chance to go to Oklahoma and chase giant whitetails with Chuck Adams.
Absolutely.
You know, you bring up a good point there, because all right, it's $20. I was on the phone with somebody the other day. They ordered a sandwich and a coffee, and it was $20.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Skip lunch one day, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so it's $20. So I will personally guarantee that just to be able to go hunt in Oklahoma at Liberty Ranch is worth the $20 entry fee. I will personally guarantee that. Along with that, you have the chance to hunt with Chuck Adams, which I don't know what that's worth, but just a chance to hunt with Chuck. We actually had a debate about that because we thought the tickets should be more. And we thought, you know what? No, because every kid out there and everybody who bow hunts deserves a shot at this. And that's why we kept the tickets at $20.
No, fair.
So you got hunting, you got Liberty Ranch, you got Chuck Adams, and let's not forget that the raffles like this, they support the only organization out there that's working for bow hunters across America. There's nobody else working to preserve, promote, and protect bow hunting all across America. Doesn't exist. Pope and Young is it. And they've been doing it for 61 years. And we'll do it for another 61 as long as we get the support like this. So $20, you're ensuring your future of bow hunting in North America. You have a chance to hunt whitetails at Liberty Ranch, and you have a chance to hunt with Chuck Adams. That is, if there was ever a no-brainer, that would be it.
That's the best $20 vacation anybody could ever have right there.
I'm telling you, absolutely. So, no, lots of fun, and so we're hoping it's a good promotion. I know people are excited about it. I'm excited about it. I can't even put in for it, and I'm still excited about it. I'm like, man, Chuck Adams, big whitetails in Oklahoma. Those are I can check two things off my list. I've never hunted whitetails in Oklahoma, and I've never hunted with Chuck Adams. Two things off my list in one hunt right there.
Hey, just have all your nieces buy a bunch of tickets, and then you say, well, sweetheart, if she wins, I'll take you. I don't want you to have to go alone, so I'll come and I'll take you.
You know what happened is they're literally lucky. And so like one of my nieces wins this, and they'd be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to go hunt with Chuck Adams, without a new bow. And my brother would look at me and he'd be like, dude, you started this. You're going to finish it. So we'd be rolling to the bow shop getting new gear for these girls.
Hey, that's okay.
Worth
Anytime yeah, absolutely.
I'm telling you, yeah, they're both adorable. So, I mean, one of them shoots a whitetail with Chuck Adams. That's the cover shot right there. That get on the front of the Epic.
I'm excited for it. I know it's even a year away, but a little more than a year, but I'm still excited till that day comes. We'll be happy.
Yeah, no,
I'm jealous of Corey because no matter what, he's the winner that gets to guide Chuck Adams.
Hey, I just get all the best out of that one. So I'll take that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just if
Chuck kills a new world record, then we're all gonna be.
Hey, I sure hope we have one. Next year we got a couple really good prospects going in, even for this year, with some good mature deer, and get another year on them. Hopefully, who knows? Could happen.
If we're let's just say, if you and I were both there, Dylan, with Chuck Adams, and a world record buck was killed, during that weekend. I mean, I don't want to be selfish or anything, but I think the deer deserves to have been shot by Chuck. I don't want a deer I shoot ever to be a world record, because that would just be anticlimactic. I'm like, dude, if I could do it, you could literally do it. So
we started talking records, and then Tim just texted me.
Oh yeah,
about Chuck Adams coming.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about Tim. We got some stories from him there last year we could tell, but he might not like that.
Yeah. So
we better change the subject now.
Yeah. So he's probably just trying to weasel his way in. He's like, hey, how do I get there? You can't. No.
Get back for revenge.
Yeah.
Listen though, two things. You did shoot a great big bear out there with Tim.
In Oregon.
Second, Jason, you didn't let Corey give an introduction, because I want him to, because of this reason. A lot of times, listen, we've all been stuck with a bad outfitter. We've all been stuck with people who were like, this was a waste of a hunt. And Corey here is not only, manages this ranch, but Corey here understands deer on a level that I wish I could. So Corey, how did you even get into the outfitting business in the first place?
Well, go back, graduated high school, went to one of the whitetail meccas of the world, Iowa. Got my wildlife biology degree from Iowa State. From there, I migrated to Texas and worked on a 30-plus thousand acre ranch, mainly focused on whitetails, quail, turkeys, basically wildlife in general. Then from there, migrated just a little further north into Kansas and this area, northeastern Oklahoma, southeast Kansas. Been here for the last 7 years. And luckily to manage Liberty Ranch for this will be going on as the calendar turns, 2023 will be the start of my 4th year.
Wow.
7,000 acres.
Yep.
And Corey,
Fair Chase, northeastern Oklahoma, native whitetail, heavily managed as far as some supplemental protein feed program, doing some habitat work with some fruit trees, introduction as far as some pears, apples, persimmon plantings across, several different portions of the ranch, some food plots incorporated as well throughout the ranch going forward. So we're trying to do a 5-star operation from the ground up. You've seen some of our lodging, and that was the first thing we built as we started our supplemental feed program and our deer management program. So we put our money invested in our cabins. Now we're investing into the property itself so we can optimize and utilize the best resource that we have here on the ranch.
Nice. And hopefully if you couldn't follow along on video, man, check it out, because some of the pictures that Dylan was scrolling through, they got some great bucks there.
LibertyRanchOutdoors.com.
Yes. Facebook, Instagram, be the same thing, Liberty Ranch Outdoors. So see us come and go on there throughout the season.
Excellent. No, it's exciting because there's some places that you hunt, and it's always good to have time in the field, but not everywhere that you're going to hunt has the kind of opportunities to kill a big buck like what you have up there where you guys are at.
Right.
We take pride in that as well. We keep it very low pressure as far as hunters throughout the year. Last year we were to a hunter per turned out to be about 1,100 acres. So, very minimal pressure, hardly any intrusion. And we look to keep that kind of 900-ish to 1,100 acres as far as per hunter goes going forward, just to keep low pressure. That's number one key, human intrusion.
Nice. Now, is that a ranch? Is it a working ranch in addition to the hunting operation? You guys running cattle or anything there?
Yes, it is. It's a working cattle ranch. We utilize just as many acres, if not more, with the cattle than we do the hunting aspect of the ranch. It is a full-fledged working cattle ranch.
Good.
mama cow operation. And then we also have a preconditioned, starter feed yard as well that we use here. So, I mean, it's a working cattle ranch, and we're doing several things to improve habitat. We just got done finally. Feels great to get done with our lake project. We just finished the making of a 48-acre lake. Now that's going to implement a little bit into our waterfowl hunting program as we go forward as well.
60 feet deep, 48-acre lake. Like, dude,
that sounds more like trout fishing than duck hunting.
Well, we've looked into the trout. It's going to be tough to make it work for them, but we're going to see if we can.
Yeah.
Once it gets full.
Yeah. So if a guy were to show up and shoot a fork and horn on day one, then he just wouldn't be bored. You throw a shotgun in his hands and send him out back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
To the duck field. We're gonna.
Jason's got a plan now.
Yeah. Giddy up. See, this is I did this years ago. A buddy of mine runs North American hunting competition, and I got his pro staff of the year thing for tonnage. It's I didn't shoot the biggest buck or the biggest bull, but when you add it up, the however many thousands of geese I shot and everything, I had the most tonnage for the year. So there's guys out there shot a couple elk and a couple of deer, and I'm like, no. You could fit you fit everything you shot in one pickup. I can't do that. Yeah. So yeah,
boy.
It may not be by inches, but man, by gross pounds of dead stuff, I'm gonna hold my own.
Hey, perfect.
So, boy.
Yeah. So, don't threaten me with the fork and horn.
Jason, last year, I took a new hunter out. I had this guy reach out and he said, "Hey man, I've really wanted to start bow hunting. And I hear you're the guy that can help me." And I'm like, "Yeah, hey, I blah blah." And anyways, we hook it up to go to Liberty Ranch. And so we're there hunting. I put him in Corey drops him off in this ground blind on that he mentioned a rock ledge. He puts him in a ground blind, get him all set up, and we coach him up a bit and ends up shooting a doe. And he texts me and I said, "Well, hey dude, just don't move. Like they're moving, it's rutting, it's a good morning, cold front moved in, just stay right there. Don't move." And he sat there for probably an hour and a half, and he moves. He gets up, gets out of the blind, and goes to pick up the doe, and he wants to see it. I mean, it's his first deer. I understand why he's excited. It's his first deer ever. And made a fantastic shot. I mean, we knew it was dead, but he walks up, and as he's walking out to look at this doe, a giant 10-point walks in. And I'm like, dude, I told you. But then I screwed up because I had been sitting in the same blind all week, and I'm like, "Corey, dude, you got to move me. I need to go somewhere else." And he's like, "Okay, I'll put you in this tree stand over here." And as I'm sitting there, he sends me a picture of a giant at the place I had been sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, "Gosh, dang it. I'm sorry,
Always
Corey.
Listen to the guide.
I should have trusted you." So I messed up too.
It's you know what? And this is if you're hunting with a guide, they're the guide. Listen to them. They may have an edge. Not that you're not, the world's greatest hunter, but they may have some information that you might not be privy to. Maybe they know exactly why that blind is where it is to the inch instead of over by that tree. Maybe they've done that. Maybe the blind used to be over by that tree and now it's where it is on purpose. So I saw that this fall where people would come in who had no idea what they were doing and then try to tell the guide, "Oh, well, you should have had the tree stand in a different tree, or you should have the blind over there." And it's like, no, you shouldn't. It's where it needs to be. Now, if you had quit moving when animals are walking in and see you grab your bow and spook them off, that will help your chances. If you're in the blind and animals are coming in, quit moving around. You don't need to move your chair right now. Just get ready for the shot. And then you won't spook them and they'll come in. You focus, instead of telling the experts what they should be doing different, you just focus on your mission, which is to get a quality shot on a quality animal.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, that gets frustrating when you see that. And there's guys are like, well, I haven't, we had one guy and we're like, hey, let us know if you see any sign when you walk into that tree stand, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
The guy walks in there and he's like, yeah, there hadn't been an elk in there in forever. Yeah, you know how to read sign? Oh yeah, I hunt all over the place. This guy, and we pull the chip in the camera, and there was an elk there like 12 minutes before he was there,
Oh,
and
shit.
it's like on the same trail he walked in on.
Walked in.
It's like, come on, man. So, yeah, listen to your guide, listen to your outfitter. They're there for a reason.
Stick and stay, make them pay. Why I say.
There you go. So how is it in Oklahoma? I know it's different all across the country. So how is it in Oklahoma? Is it a buck and a doe, or how does that work?
So Oklahoma, it's a 2-buck state. With that, archery, a non-resident can kill 2 bucks with their archery license. You'd have to buy 2 different licenses, but that would include your deer tags, your hunting license, and everything. But they just wrap it into one package, so you'd have to buy it twice to kill 2 bucks. Which that archery license and tag, it's right at $300, but it'll run you a full year. That includes your buck tag and 3 doe tags with each $300 archery license.
So what you're saying is me and Jason can come stack bodies.
You're telling me for $700, we just start laying them down. I could kill 8 deer for $700 in tag fees.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. $8. Eight. Yep. Not $8. 8 deer.
8 deer.
8 deer. Yeah. Oh yeah. $2.
See,
6 does. Yes.
Now we're talking.
With that, it'd be $600 because I think so it'd be a little over 600 or 300 and like a processing fee if you buy it online. So,
Jason, can you be here like this week?
Absolutely. Yes, I can.
Dude, Corey's under 2 hours from my house. Dude, you fly into Wichita, we'll drive down there and stack bodies.
No problem. Yeah. Wow.
We'll even put you in the waterfowl blind too.
See, that's nice. That way, after I get my 8 deer, then I can go shoot.
That way, when you're not done shooting stuff yet.
You can get your tonnage.
I'm not. Hey, man, I just, I finally got back to Alberta, and it felt good because I'd one afternoon hunt that I just went out by myself, set up the goose spread, sat there. I didn't have much wind, or it would have been a little bit quicker, but yeah, I shot my 50 snow geese and my 8 ducks, and I even got a Canada goose in about 40 minutes. It was a nice little flurry of activity, and that's the first snow goose limit I shot with that new Benelli. I haven't had a new Benelli shotgun that I've used for ducks in 20 years, so I was due. But so I don't mind stacking them up. Yeah, shoot one, reload, shoot again, reload, shoot again. I'm okay with that.
As you should be.
Yeah. And it's so on stuff like that where you've got, if you're at a, if you're in a stand and let's say you shoot a doe or something, and does it really not bother the other deer, or does it get them a little spooky? Have you looked into that?
Well, it all kind of depends on how it plays out as far as how the situation was before the shot. If there's a pile of deer around, of course, 1 or 2 of them are going to see what happened and be a little spooked by it. If she's the only one and she goes kind of in a non-intrusive way, not into any bedding or anything like that. Because once they get shot, they call it little toe cheese between their hooves, puts off a smell and a hormone. When the deer stomp their feet, when usually the doe is getting ready to blow, she'll stomp her feet. It just puts a little pheromone in on the ground. It's a warning sign, basically.
Huh.
So as long as it's a smooth, easy shot, non really afraid as far as you're not in the area, or no signs of human smell or anything, it should go pretty unintrusive as
Okay.
far as if you
It's
make
actually
a
one
good
of the best
clean
way to.
kill.
It's actually one of the best way to train a blood dogs is
With-
teach them to track that scent.
Yeah. hmm
But
But
Jason,
it does affect them, yes.
last year the buck I shot here in Kansas, I saw it drop in the field just 50 yards from my blind and continued to sit there and still had a doe tag. So I'm like, well, I'm going to hang out and see what happens. And I actually had another buck come up and push on that other buck, mess with it.
Really?
And
Yeah.
of course, that was the middle of the rut. But he, he poked at that other buck laying there for a minute and then just kept on walking in. And so that was the first time I'd ever seen that. But
Yeah, you see that with turkeys.
yeah,
Yeah.
You shoot
Oh,
a turkey, they just
absolutely.
get up there and
Turkeys.
slow the tar out of them.
hmm Similar aspect with some of the bucks if there's enough testosterone pumping.
Nice. And so where are you guys? So your rut is what, just about kicking off, or you got another?
Yeah, I think we had a good cold snap. About the 18th and 19th of October, we got down lows 23 one morning, 22 the next. That really, I think, got the ball rolling a little bit. Coming off that full moon, we had some good footage of some lip curling and stuff going on. Even on trail camera, some good footage of a couple 4 or 5 year old bucks sparring a little bit. And just looking through some trail camera cards here last day or two, which would be first day or two in November, we actually had some mature bucks on a single doe as far as pushing her and following her pretty tight. So I think there's at least a couple of the early does coming in. So it should be kicking off going over the next 2 or 3 weeks pretty good. We should catch it, I think.
Very nice.
that means get your plane ticket, Jay.
Yes.
Dylan's got his trip planned already. We
telling you.
affiliated the dates today. Firmed it
Nice.
up.
Yeah, I'll. You know what? I've been on the phone most of the morning off to. I'm sure he texted me those dates. I'll definitely be checking my phone.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
I know how that works. Yeah.
Operation Shoot That Giant Forky is a go, dude.
Yeah. See, he always texts me. He's like, "Oh, I just got back from hunting." He never tells me before he goes.
When he's going, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm inviting you
I get
now. Get a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Let's
All
roll.
right. I'm there.
Perfect.
So what else? So Corey, what else you guys have going on? So you're hunting hard, and then how about after the guiding season for you? When do you guys hunt till down there?
So our season goes till usually the second weekend in January. I think this year it's the 14th, the Sunday the 14th. It goes out, and they're usually holding on to their antlers pretty well still at that time frame. So if there's a couple management bucks we need to get after, we can still get them then without having that fear of shooting a dropped deer buck. But like I guess it was 2 years ago, I killed one the 7th of January, and I touched his antlers and they come right off.
Okay.
Popped off right in my hand. It's getting right, fine line kind of standpoint. That little bit of stress of shooting him, I think, kind of pushed the limit for him. But
Right.
we hunt right up till that time frame, especially if there's a few does we need to get rid of still to keep some numbers in check, and along with the management bucks, we got to try to get some of them 7-8 year old bully deer out of the way too, make room for them 3-4 year old prospect giants.
Yeah, that's good.
I last year, the first week of January, we were down in Texas, and one of the guys from Bear Archery shoots this buck, and texts us all, and we're like, "Yeah, we'll be over there after our hunt ends," and we all go over there, and we start blood trailing, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, look, here's a shed," picks it up. We keep walking, and 5 minutes later, another guy says, "Dude, I found another shed. Here's another shed." We get up to that deer, and it had no horns. And the guy from Bear said, "I promise you, it had horns when I shot it. I promise." And so he held that deer up and took a picture holding the antlers, put the knee on his head, put the antlers on his head, and
I have one of those now.
That's funny. I found a shed one time. It was in December, but it was a buck that had been shot, and I think it just that stress caused it to drop just a couple days later.
Yeah.
So Dylan, you've been out to Oklahoma a time or two. So
Oklahoma's absolutely a sleeper state. I think a lot of people neglect how good of hunting Oklahoma has to offer. I think it's getting more and more publicity. I mean, you see more and more of your, quote unquote, big name hunters going to Oklahoma and shooting giants.
Certainly.
It's a really fun state to hunt. I mean, it offers you a lot of different, topographical, different terrain features. Like there at Liberty Ranch, super, rolling hills and big cliffs and, definitely stuff I don't get here in Kansas. And then, you go down to like the Kiamichi Mountains and, you're in the thickest stuff you've ever seen in your lifetime. And then, of course, out in the Panhandle, you got desert. I mean, it's a really fun state to hunt in. It's, I can be there and I can beat Oklahoma in 20 minutes. And then you got 2 more bucks. And so, I try to utilize that as much as I can because Kansas is a 1 buck state. And sometimes that's hard to swallow. You shoot a buck and you're done. And so, you got to drive over the border. And, of course, I can beat a Cordy in about an hour and 45 minutes. And so, you got to look at those different opportunities around you. And same with Missouri, Arkansas, I can be to those in 3 or 4 hours and shoot more bucks.
Yeah.
That's
I'm only 8 hours from Idaho.
Yeah. See, you got it even more made.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that, Corey?
I said, we're at in Oklahoma, we're only, as the crow flies, about 20, 25 miles south of the Kansas line. We don't, in my region, we don't have necessarily like the ag fields and stuff like you see in Kansas and stuff like that. But what we do have are parcels of land that are 10 to 50 times bigger than most parcels, most ag fields. We have land that's from 5,000 acres to 60,000 acres as far as one parcel. And there may be a road to go through it, but it's a ranch owned road. And also, land features wise, it's 4 or 5 miles strips east and west before you break any of the land up at all. And that's really, you can grow some really big deer and manage the property that way when you have bigger parcels rather than 160 acres where deer come and go so freely.
Yeah. That's when I was up in Alberta, it's interesting. A lot of folks, they talk about, how many acres? I've got 40 acres. Up there, they talk in quarters, as in quarter sections.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're farming 45 quarters. I'm like, okay, that's 11 square miles. It's like that's ridiculous. So
different world, different places.
It is a different world. Yeah. So, so what else? So it's all fair chase. So they're not going to run into any zebras or ostrich out there while they're whitetail hunting.
No, sir.
Just cows.
Just cows.
Well, there's an occasional. Yeah. No on the steaks. We got plenty of them in the freezer. If we need some, we can get some.
I said, Corey, dude, I thought it was the biggest doe I'd ever seen in my lifetime. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He said if it's brown, it's down.
Well, we might as well eat it. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's the world's largest albino deer. And you're like, no, that's a Charolais cow. Sorry.
Occasionally you get some few wild. We have a little it's a wildlife preserve on the southeast corner that Frank Phillips started. It's called Woolarock. Occasionally you'll see an axis or a Sitka deer. Occasionally an elk or something gets out. So occasionally you'll see one, but not very often. But we're about a mile from it on our southeast corner, so we're pretty close. So I have had pictures of some different things come through, just passing through. But
yeah,
you ever get
biggest buck I ever saw? That's an elk.
Yeah.
You ever get any hogs in there, Corey?
No. It's one of those. Is it good? Is it bad? Personally, I think it's wonderful not having the hogs. Just they're fun to shoot, good to eat, but they create so much trouble as a land manager or wildlife manager in general, just because of the how invasive they are and how bad they are. Some aspects of the land, tear it up, look like a disc or a rototiller went through some places, and it's It's really bad for our forage, especially in the wintertime when we're trying to keep as much grass as we can for the calves and mama cows to get through. But it'd be nice to have one or two just to plink around, but to keep one or two, it's dang near impossible. So
Yeah.
I like not having them.
Yeah.
You're not far from them, though.
No, about 10 minutes either direction you want to go, you can get into hogs. We're 8 miles out of Pahuska. Pahuska has hogs in the middle of the city. I say city, it's a town of like 2,000, but just about anywhere you can go, 10 minutes, north, south, east, west, you can get into some hogs. I don't know why we're necessarily been confined and haven't been able to get any on the place, but especially with the creeks and the amount of feed that we put out on the ranch throughout the year with the deer feeders, protein, and the corn, we have yet to see any in the last 3 years. I think prior to that, there's been one picture of one.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know who blessed us with it, the curse to keep them off, but hopefully it sticks around a little longer.
Yeah, let's talk again in 3 years and see if it's holding.
Yeah. Well, I'll try my best.
Yeah. So
if not, I know call.
Yeah, so you guys put a bounty on them. You're like, if you see a hog, take it down.
Absolutely. And like I said, we haven't had to necessarily harvest any, but if we do see one, there's definitely a bounty on it. No questions asked.
You know what? It's completely illegal to shoot a hog in Kansas if you see one.
Yeah, that blows my mind because I know a couple pockets up northeast, kind of a little southeast of or south of Kansas City has a really big pocket of hogs. Uniontown.
Well, it makes sense to an extent because their thought process on it is, if you have a sonder of pigs, which we have them come up from Oklahoma often. I mean, you see people post pictures of them, but if you've got a sonder of pigs of 12 and a hunter shoots one, well, now they're going to split up and break up, and you've got a sonder of 5 and 6. Then they're going to populate, and then there are 2 sonders of 12, and then this hunter shoots one, and then you split those up, and then these get shot at and splits those up, and so it spreads them out more rather than just calling. They can come in with choppers and take them out and be done. So it makes sense to an extent, not to split them up and bust them up and get them all spread out.
So instead of generating revenue, letting hunters take care of them, the government could come in and pay money to do it. I love that thought.
Yeah.
That's
That's one thing they've done around here. The USDA and the states actually trapped and brought in the helicopter and killed quite a bit just because the hog population was so bad.
Yeah. See, in Oregon, we have this. Well, this wasn't the one that did it, but at Pope and Young, our official position statement is that wildlife management does not belong at the ballot box. And Oregon is an absolute prime example of that because I think it was 82 or 92. I can't remember which year, but they voted to disallow hunting with hounds for bears and cougars and the baiting of bears. And since that time, man, our predator populations have just skyrocketed. And it hasn't helped anything other than the bears and the cats. And so now they're to the point on some of these places where, you got the coyotes killing all the antelope fawns, and then whatever grows up, the cougars come in and wipe out the rest. And they're to the point now where they're going to have to literally come in and pay somebody to go do the job that sportsmen would have done for free. So
sportsmen would have paid you to do.
Exactly.
They'd have bought a license to go do it. And instead, you can't go hunt them with hounds, but the state can pay somebody to come in and bring hounds in to hunt them. That's just, I don't know.
It's okay if they do it, though. I understand.
Crap, Corey, we got him started.
I know. That's, once again, wildlife management is not a ballot box issue.
Certainly not.
So, Yeah, nothing better than somebody sitting in their little, apartment downtown who's never even seen a deer telling you how to manage
Yeah.
populations of animals they couldn't identify if they went to the zoo.
Oh yeah. That's the only animals they really see, and that's how they get treated. And
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
thing we don't want to get started on. I don't think any further.
No, probably not. Yeah, it's I'd have a good time talking about it, but I'm sure someone would be offended.
There's always an offense when someone has a passion behind something they're talking about, a
Yeah.
true passion, like
Yeah.
a sportsman does about that. So
Yeah. And heaven forbid facts or data would get in the way of somebody's feelings.
Not even facts and data, common stinking sense. Like
that goes a long way.
I've given up
sense.
expecting common sense. I no longer expect people to have it.
I was talking to one yuppie on an airplane the other day, and they so graciously told me they disagree with what I do, and I said okay. I said, well, how about what would happen if I invited somebody to live in your house? They said, I mean, yeah, we have an extra bedroom, whatever. And I said, okay, you can support one more. So what happened if I invited a family of 5 to live in your house? Then it'd be getting a little tough, food. And I said, okay, what if I invite a family of 10 into your house? There's no way. I said, so what do you think the deer are doing out there when they get overpopulated and all of a sudden there's no more room for them and there's no more feed for them and they're starving to death because the land can't support them? I said, who do you think's coming in and helping take care of those populations? We have to, or otherwise the land can't support them. So would you rather a deer starve to death or would you rather a deer die in a matter of seconds?
Yeah.
Which one?
Or should we bulldoze your entire housing development and send it back to the deer habitat that it used to be before you built your house there?
Yeah.
That's one thing they don't want to hear that.
No.
They're all for it until you tell them that.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't want you to log, but they still want a house built with lumber.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tough sell because, like you say, common sense plays no part in their decision-making process.
It's all emotion.
It is.
Yeah.
So sometimes it makes me think that maybe I should go find some emotions just so I could be that offended. So, well, anyway, so Corey, what do you do with yourself after the last hunter is gone? You take a little break, or what do you guys do?
No, I may take a day or two break, but if hunting season's still open, there's always a few more does that need to go. After hunting season's wrapped up, our cold really don't hit until February. Usually here on the ranch, in January, beginning of February, waterfowl season's still open through the end of January for us, and then goose season stays open. But I have a spot in Kansas where I go shoot some speckle bellies and snows and stuff by quite a big number. So I usually spend some of February up there, even get into some of the snow conservation season as well up there. So yeah, I know you may like that idea as far as the waterfowl goes.
We don't judge here. We allow hunting. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's a great place to get away. It's just far enough, 2.5 hours. I have access to a really nice place on a private lake with a bunch of property around, so I can utilize it. I usually run a few hunts up there as well, some waterfowl hunts throughout the end of the year, as far as season goes. So
very cool.
My break, I don't get much of a break. Maybe a little sliver of March before turkey season starts. Then I got to try to chase a few of them birds around, and we got a few. The show season starts. We got to make a couple appearances in a couple different places. And, shake some hands, smile.
That's right.
Some faces, so.
Hopefully, you've got Reno on your calendar for April.
Yep, April we do. I believe we're coming. I don't think we were going to go to Louisiana, but they canceled that, and it was in March. Just because I know quite a few, but we're going to come to the Reno one again. We enjoyed that last year or year before. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a good time. Chuck will be there, so we can sit at a table and reminisce about the hunt.
No, it won't have happened yet.
Yeah,
Oh, it won't have happened yet.
Yeah,
Well, then we
it'll be
could
about 6
go and we
months
could
out.
talk about it.
We can
Absolutely.
hype it up.
Hype it up. Yeah.
Hopefully the winner is at convention. The winner of the hunt is at convention.
I know, because it sounds like it can. Are we going to draw it at convention?
I don't think we've decided yet.
Okay, there's a chance, because we were talking to Chuck, and you know what? My hat's off to the guy, because he really cares about, bow hunting and the legacy, and, huge Pope and Young supporter. And, so here's a guy who, he doesn't have to do this. He just did it, basically is to help the organization and do what we do for conservation and our other work. And so all of a sudden, I think he kind of got into it, because he comes to us and he says, hey, he says, instead of drawing it somewhere else, why don't we just draw it at convention? He says, I'll come up and draw the winning ticket.
Hey,
And so I'm like, that's pretty darn cool. So we may just have to do that.
yeah, I think that'd be a pretty good idea, especially if the winner just happened to be there too. That'd be, excuse me, that'd be something. That'd be crazy.
That'd be better than being called up on The Price is Right. Like you look at some of those crazy people who are just like, like imagine Chuck Adams draws your name out of the bucket for a hunt. Dude, I would hope somebody would get pretty rowdy over that.
Hey, we may have one of them coming down through there.
That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, we've had a few winners in the audience in the past for some of those big hunts, and it's been nice. It's always neat when you have those big hunts and you got a big room of people, when somebody who's there wins, because it's that good energy. You love to see that energy. Nobody wants to see the big draw of the night go to somebody who,
absentee.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what? We also, despite who wins it, we want to make it easy for everybody to get in. So you can go right online, drop your $20 and get in there. Go hunt with Corey, Chuck Adams. Man, what a deal.
I even feel like I need to buy a couple of them just to make sure I'm there.
I know.
I get that chance.
Yeah. See, how would that work? Then you just hand the keys over to somebody else and say, hey, man, I'm just going to be over here BSing with Chuck. You handle everything else.
What's that you always say, Jason? If you're feeling lucky, buy a ticket. If you're not feeling lucky, buy a lot of tickets.
Yeah. If you're feeling lucky, buy a ticket. If you're not feeling lucky, you better buy a bunch of tickets. And that works, because I think we've got some pretty good ticket packages. And so the more you buy, the less each ticket costs.
Cheaper,
let me see if I can pull it up here. We've got 1 ticket for $20, 6 tickets for $100, 18 tickets for $250, 42 tickets for $500, and 100 tickets for $1,000.
That's only $10 a piece. You're telling me I could win a hunt with Chuck Adams at Liberty Ranch for $10? That's a good deal.
I'm telling you.
I think that's probably the best value there, is that 100 for 1,000 package.
Yeah.
I will say this too, though. The guy that we're about to send to Canada to hunt the bow only zone with Wizard Lake, he bought 1 ticket.
Yeah.
All it takes is one.
He said, I was sitting there and I thought, man, why not? Like I'm supporting a good cause. Even if I don't win, I'm supporting my right as a bow hunter. This is what he literally told me. He said, I'm supporting my right as a bow hunter, so I might as well go ahead and do it. And and he bought a ticket, and he bought it like the day before it closed. So I called him the next day, and he was like, holy crap. Like he was like, are you kidding me? No freaking way. Like just losing it. And I'm like,
be real.
Yeah. And he's probably on his way up there here any minute.
Yeah.
Because that was this month.
Yeah, and then I said, I'm just kidding, man. I don't work for Pope and Young at all. I just want
That's not
terrible.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's and we've had some like we've had people win it on 1 ticket, and then we had somebody bought, what was it? I think we had a $500 pack, and I think somebody bought 2 $500 packs and wound up winning a hunt. I'm like, well, that was turned out to be a good investment.
Absolutely. Whether it's 1 or 100, either way, it's a good investment, good cause.
That's a fact. Well, Well, Corey, we appreciate you spending some time with us on here. And thanks for working with us to put this hunt together. I know we are absolutely excited about it. And the cool thing is Chuck's doing it for us, but he's excited about it as well. So
Yeah, no, I'm just as excited as you guys are, maybe just a little more. Get to have Chuck here at camp, just being able to have Chuck in camp, as well as you guys and whoever the lucky winner would be, is just going to be a dream come true for, I think, everybody in camp that week. And I'm gonna start right now, try to get a couple of them lined out in patterns so we're ready when they get here.
I like it. Well,
find Jason a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful forky.
Big forky. Yeah.
Big forky. I'll see if I can't keep one or two around just for you.
Yeah. Forky Jason, with the drop time.
You better not forget your question.
We do have to ask the question.
No,
you're going to miss it.
We do ask everybody the question. I don't know if we've ever missed the question before. So, nope. Corey, the one question we ask everybody that comes on the show is, when you find yourself out chasing them big whitetails in Oklahoma or running down spring black bears in Oregon, what is one non-traditional item that you find in your pack that you always like to take on a hunt?
A non-traditional item?
Yes.
Well, oatmeal cream pies, baby.
Hey, that should be a traditional, because you got to have some snacks in the pack somewhere. I don't care if it's just for an afternoon sit or a 3 or 4 day pack in. You got to have some snacks. That's for sure.
I'm not going to lie. Many of our very best answers have been snacks.
Really? Well, that's a traditional deal for me, because I always take food just about everywhere I go.
Bacon. We had bacon. We've had
where is bacon a wrong answer, though? Like, if you just say that bacon, where is that a wrong answer?
It's not.
No, absolutely not.
What's your girlfriend's nickname? Bacon. Wrong answer.
Because I love her.
Yeah. Everything else, bacon's the right answer.
Well,
no, you would say bacon because that's my favorite thing on earth, and she's my favorite thing. So
favorite thing. Hey,
there you go. It's all how you spend.
I don't know if you take it that way, though. It's a little. It's probably not even a lucky charm, but I feel like it is. It's a little penny, real smushed. It's a train station, old historic train station where I went to school in Iowa State. It was just a keepsake. My grandmother, my mother, one of my aunts were there. That was one of our little trips we did. And that stays in my hunting coat and has since I left to go to school in Iowa. So it's been in my hunting coat for going on 8-9 years now.
So a lucky penny.
Yep, lucky penny. It's
smashed by a train.
Smashed by a train. And engraved on the backside with actually the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
That stays in my pocket of my hunting coat, and I check it every time I put it on just to make sure it's still in there.
Nice. Is that you ever find yourself where you're like, hey, I'm gonna go do this, and you're like, let me see. Nope, number 6. I better not do that.
I pull it out and look at it occasionally. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Is that you just check? Sometimes it's good to have. It's a lot like when I'm out hunting, I like to have a copy of the local fishing and hunting regulations. So it's kind of like those would be like the hunting regulations for life.
Absolutely. Yep.
So you just pull that out. Dylan probably has them all memorized. You have all 10 memorized, Dylan?
Yeah, I could work through them, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. You think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not in order. I can't do them in order.
You can't. Okay. All right. I figured you knew them inside and out.
I can. Yeah. We won't dive into that, but the first 4 are commandments to God. The last 6 are commandments to how to treat other people around you. The only commandment with a promise tied to it is, thou shalt honor your father and mother, and you'll live a long life. That's the only one with a promise tied to it. My dad always said it's because I won't kill you at a young age if you respect me. So yeah, I mean, we could get into it.
Okay. I didn't, so you're saying there's not 10, there's 4 and 6.
That's how they're broken up. Yes.
Okay.
First 4 are
I did not
commandments
know that.
towards God. Second 6 are commandments towards people.
Okay.
Which, when you're out there in God's country and God's creation, what better to think about than the 4 commandments to God and the 4 or the 6 to the other people? I mean, that's what life's about. So
Nice.
There you go.
All right. Well, I don't want to start a holy war, so I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to let it go right there. So, yeah.
All right, Corey, we'll be there. Jason can fly down this afternoon. We'll be there in the morning.
Hey, perfect. Southwind, plan for it.
All right. See you there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.